Hello everyone, this is Khalil Gamadi. I will talk about chemical engineering transport. What is a chemical engineering transport? First of all, we are going to divide this question into two parts. The first part, what is chemical engineer? And that is the study of every molecule inside a big system. And we can go more in detail in another video. The other part is transport into the chemical engineer. Transport is the movement between any other subjects. For example, nowadays we can get into transportation and just move from a place to another. But in chemical engineer, that is the movement of thermal heat conductivity between each particle and each subject. And that moves from chemical engineering transport into three other subjects. The first one, momentum, and that is the momentum thermal heat transfer between each molecules and each substance, and that we cannot even see by our naked eye. The other part is mass transfer. So every subject has a mass, and when that subjects get into another mass subject and move and mingle between both of them, the heat of the first subject, that the hot one, into a cold one will transfer to a middle or approximately to a mid temperature. The third part and the last part in chemical engineering, which is the heat transfer. When a heat applies to a subject, it moves up its temperature and it changes the whole system due to that raise in temperature. In the other slide now, we will talk about why we should learn the chemical engineering transport. Learning chemical engineering transport is very important in companies and chemical engineering field. So if I would like to open a company and have a big factory for a certain production, I need to have a chemical engineering transport in order to set the temperature settle to a certain temperature. Otherwise, I will have a big explosion or even bad production at the end. Therefore, learning that subject, gets us into holding the perfect production and a perfect company. And that is very important nowadays between every other company, and just have a good challenge between them. Therefore, there are three other types very important chemical engineering transport, and those part is conductivity, convection, and radiation. Where the conductivity or the conduction is where the heat heats up a metal or a solid subject and transfer that heat from the top to its end. So the heat is moving inside the solid material. That is a conduction. And a convection is when the flame gets or touch or lets you feel the heat into your hands. And that is a convection. And the hardest part, which is the radiation. Radiation is where the heat can be sensed without feeling it into our body. And for example, I can sense the microwave working and moving inside and heating up my food, but I cannot feel the heat that is in my food and I cannot reach it. So microwave It's the perfect example for the radiation in chemical engineering. Lastly, chemical engineering program is very important subject and matter in our production and companies. Therefore, studying the transport in chemical engineer is very, very important for our company to raise up and understand even better our material and liquids that is processing inside a company and its chamber. If we get to know these molecules and what it affects from the surrounding heat, then we would have a better production in in a company or in our research. Therefore, I would recommend you guys for three books I really like. The first one, Fundamental of Heat, Mass, and Momentum in Heat Transfer. The other book, Transport Phenomena. And the third book is Thermal Conductivity in Chemical Engineering Program. Thank you for listening. Here's Kyle Al Ghamdi. You have a good day.